Hello, children. I am Diego, your English teacher. Hope you remember me. Well, today is Wednesday. It's a sunny day and it's warm. Okay? So today we are going to continue studying the adverbs of frequency. Do you remember the expressions once a day, once a week, once a month, once a year? Okay? Do you remember these expressions? Once a day, once a week, once a month, once a year. Once means one time, yes? Or twice a day, twice a week, twice a month, twice a year. And then we continue with 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, whatever, yes? Those are expressions of frequency. And then we have the other expressions of frequency, which we talked about them last class. Always, usually, often, sometimes, and never. Okay, these words you already know them, but now I have this expression, how often, cuán frecuentemente, con cuánta frecuencia. So, the activity that you have to do, you have to answer these questions about you. The options are every day, twice a week, once a week, sometimes, and never. So the questions are, look, how often do you eat young food? How often do you eat young food? Food, you know what it means. Young food are hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, Coke. Young food, comida chatarra, comida basura sería. So, how often do you eat young food? Okay, so you tick here every day, twice a week, once a week, sometimes, or never. Okay, you answer the questions. How often do you tidy your room? How often do you tidy? How often do you tidy your room, your bedroom? How often do you tidy your bedroom? How often do you clean your bedroom? Okay, well, you tick the answers here. How often do you... How often do you have a big breakfast? A big breakfast. How often do you have a big breakfast? Well, breakfast is the first meal of the day. You get up in the morning and then you have breakfast. How often do you have a big breakfast? Every day, twice a week, once a week, sometimes, or never? Well, how often do you get a bad report? How often do you get a bad report? Una mala nota o una nota en el cuaderno de comunicados. How often do you get a bad report? Every day, twice a week, sometimes or never. Uh, how often do you go dancing? How often do you go dancing? Okay? Well, you tell me, okay? How often do you play football? How often do you play football? Every day? Twice a week? Once a week? Sometimes or never? Uh, how often do you get up late? How often do you get up late? Well, vieron que con esto de la cuarentena y el aislamiento se duerme y se levanta a cualquier hora. Get up late. Get up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Get up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Get up at 10 o'clock in the morning. How often do you get up late? Well, this one. How often do you go to the cinema? Well, nowadays we can't go to the cinema because cinemas aren't open, so maybe the right answer is never. How often do you do exercise? How often do you do exercise? How often do you do exercise? Once a week, twice a week, sometimes or never? How often do you pass your tests? Pass your tests, pass your examination. Que te vaya bien en las pruebas. ¿Cuán frecuentemente te va bien en las pruebas? How often do you cook? How often do you cook? How often do you cook? Every day, twice a week, once a week, sometimes or never? And the last one, which is very important. How often do you cheat in tests? Cheat, engañar, hacer trampa. How often do you cheat in tests? It's your answer. You tell me, okay? And then here, okay, you have to write in order of frequency. You have to order these words. Do you remember that there is an order? Always is 100% of the time. Usually a 90% of the time. Often 70% of the time. Sometimes 50% of the time. Never 0% of the time. So, children, can you do this activity on your own? It's very easy. So I wish you good luck and see you next week. Bye bye. Bye.